No one was more successful at smuggling cocaine than Colombia's Pablo Escobar. Cocaine was the illegal drug of choice, and Pablo was there to make it reach places no one else could. However, there was more to this crime lord than drugs and violence. Hi there, Facts Buff. Welcome to The Insiders, your favorite channel for all top 10s. Today, we're going to talk about the Lord of Drugs and Cocaine, a divisive figure to his own people, a person of contention otherwise for the entire world, Pablo Escobar. But before diving in, please hit the red subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified of every new video we post. So without any further wait, here we go. Number 10. He spent $2,500 a month just to purchase rubber bands to wrap his money. At the height of its power, the Medellin drug cartel was smuggling 15 tons of cocaine per day, worth more than $500,000 just to the United States. Escobar became one of the wealthiest men in the world. Having more illegal money than he could deposit in banks, he stored bricks of cash in the warehouse, where 10% of it was lost because rats would eat it or it would be damaged by water. His accountant said that they spent $2,500 a month just to purchase rubber bands to wrap around the cash. By the mid-1980s, Pablo Escobar was one of the most powerful men in the world. In 1989, Forbes magazine listed him as the 7th richest man in the world, with a personal wealth of close to $25 billion. He could kill anyone, anywhere, anytime. Number 9. He was suspected for the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center. Escobar was responsible for bombing Avianca Flight 203. He wanted to kill the presidential candidate for the 1990 elections, Cesar Gaviria. 110 people were killed due to this attack. Gaviria was, however, not on the plane and would go on to become the president of Colombia. Escobar was also suspected in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center. He was, however, offended by this and sent a note to the U.S. ambassador to Colombia stating that if he had done it, he would have declared why he did it and what he wanted. This wasn't Pablo's first brush-up with allegations over a terrorist act, as he had been accused before of funding guerrilla forces in his native city, of staging a coup in the House of the Representatives, burning his criminal record in the process. Number 8. Pablo was killed by a U.S.-trained Colombian task force despite on-ground U.S. personnel's efforts to do the deed themselves. By late 1992, there were two organizations searching for Pablo Escobar: the Search Bloc, a special U.S.-trained Colombian task force, and Los Pepes, a shadowy organization of Escobar's enemies, made up of family members of his victims and financed by Escobar's main business rival, the Cali cartel, along with the U.S.'s DEA on the hunt too. On December 2, 1993, Search Bloc found Escobar's hiding place, and he was killed in the resulting shootout with a gunshot in his leg, torso, and a fatal one in his ear. Some people believe that he committed suicide, while others say he was shot by a policeman. 2 feature films on Escobar were announced in 2007: Escobar, a movie on his life, and Killing Pablo, about how he was hunted and killed. Number 7. Pablo built an entire zoo for his family's recreation. Near the small northwestern Colombian town of Puerto Triunfo, Escobar purchased 20 square kilometers of land, which included Hacienda Nápoles. He built a zoo there, a lake, and other things for he and his family's recreation. It is said that the place hosted drug-fueled parties where Colombia's most powerful and most beautiful people gathered. Now this paradise is in ruins, with refugees and hippos inhabiting the area. Indeed, a ruin of what once was a relishing masterpiece of a crazy madman. Number 6. Pablo wanted to become the president of Colombia. Pablo Escobar was born in Rio Negro in Colombia. His father was a farmer and his mother was an elementary school teacher, but Pablo had other plans. On the streets of Medellin, he started his criminal career in his teens. It is said he used to steal tombstones, sandblast the names off of them, and sell them to smugglers in Panama. Pablo was ambitious from the beginning. He used to tell his friends that he would be a millionaire by the time he was 22. He also wanted to become the president of Colombia. Number 5. La Catedral. In 1991, Escobar offered to turn himself in to authorities if he was allowed to build his own prison. Surprisingly, or perhaps not, Colombian officials agreed. The result was the luxurious La Catedral. Not only did the facility include a nightclub, a sauna, a waterfall, and a soccer field, it also had telephones, computers, and fax machines. However, after Escobar tortured and killed 2 cartel members at La Catedral, officials decided to move him to a less accommodating prison. Before he could be transferred, however, Escobar escaped in July 1992. Number 4. Hacienda Nápoles. Escobar owned a number of palatial homes, but his most notable property was the 7,000-acre estate known as Hacienda Nápoles, named after Naples, Italy. Located between Bogota and Medellin, reportedly costing $63 million, it included a soccer field, dinosaur statues, artificial lakes, a bullfighting arena, the charred remains of a classic car collection destroyed by a rival cartel, an airstrip, a tennis court, and a zoo. The estate, the front gate of which is topped by the plane he used on his first drug run to the U.S., was later looted by locals and is now a popular tourist attraction. Number 3. Mucho Dinero. At the height of its power, the Medellin cartel dominated the cocaine trade, earning an estimated $420 million a week and making its leader one of the wealthiest people in the world. With a reported worth of $25 billion, Escobar had ample money to spend, and he did. His lavish lifestyle included private planes, luxurious homes, see below, and over-the-top parties. In the late 1980s, he reportedly offered to pay off his country's debt of $10 billion if he would be exempt from any extradition treaty. In addition, while his family was on the run in 1992-93, Escobar reportedly burned $2 million in order to keep his daughter warm. Despite his best efforts, however, even Escobar couldn't spend all that money, and much of it was stored in warehouses and fields. According to his brother, about 10%, or $2.1 billion, was written off annually, eaten by rats or destroyed by the elements. In some cases, it was simply lost. Number 2. Pablo Escobar lost 10% of his annual income to rats, which would eat the stashed currency notes. Once Pablo Escobar entered the drug trade, cash began to flow in rapidly. He earned so much that he had to hide the piles of cash in Colombian farming fields, dilapidated warehouses, and in the walls of the cartel members' homes. Some of these cash piles would be eaten by rats or turn moldy due to water seepage, resulting in a loss of 10% of his annual income. That would be $2.1 billion US. Number 1. Pablo Escobar employed plata o plomo, that is, silver or lead, policy in dealing with the law enforcement officials. The ruthless Escobar garnered numerous enemies during his rise as the drug lord. His growing influence was not liked by policemen, judges, and even certain civilians. He used corruption and intimidation as twin weapons in dealing with the law enforcement officials. Escobar's policy was referred to as plata o plomo, which literally meant silver, or lead, out of which a bullet is made in Spanish. This meant accept bribe or face assassination. When a judge or police got in his way, Pablo would try to bribe them, referring to plata. But if they refused the bribe, he would order them to be killed, referring to plomo, sometimes including the members of their family. Well, that was it for this video. For more top 10s like this, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends. We will see you again in the next segment of The Insiders. Until then, watch the previously uploaded videos on this channel.